Hi, my name is Mitra Devi Armugam from Group 1 and my group members consist of Najiha and Priyangka Manimaran. Our topic for our case study is genetically modified animals. So let's look into what is genetically modified animals. Genetic modification of animal involves altering its genetic material by adding, changing or removing certain DNA sequences in a way that does not occur naturally. It aims to modify specific characteristics of an animal or introduce a new trait, such as disease-resistant or enhanced growth. DNA in the genetic material of an organism and carries the instruction for all the characteristics that an organism inherits. Changes introduced in an animal's genetic makeup can therefore be transmitted to the next generation. While this technology has so far been used in plants for agriculture and in microorganisms to produce enzymes, the potential application of genetic modification techniques to animals is also being researched. In research studies, animals that have been safely genetically engineered include cattle, pigs, chickens, goats, sheep, dogs, cats, fish, and rats. Now let's look into the summarization of the issue. Overall, in the face of environmental degradation and biodiversity loss from industrial agriculture, it is critical to transition to sustainable and ecological farming system. But a new wave of research on genetically engineered animals is leading us in the opposite direction, by designing animals to better fit within industrial systems rather than addressing the underlying health, animal welfare and environmental problems associated with these systems. A growing body of scientific evidence is finding that genetically engineered animals may present even more food safety, environmental and animal welfare issues for an already problematic industrial farming system. Scientific studies are increasingly demonstrating that the genetic engineering of animals may result in negative impacts related to food safety, animal health and welfare, and the environment. This report details two primary concerns: that gene editing technology are less precise than purported, leading to unintended consequences, and that many emerging applications of this genetic engineering technologies could result in further entrenching the intensive animal farming model rather than generating true solutions to the serious animal welfare, public health, and environmental problems it creates. For example, gene editing could cause genes not meant to be targeted to malfunction, and this could lead to health problems or unintended outcomes in the genetically engineered animal. It is increasingly clear that genetic engineering of farm animals is unnecessary. Instead of creating genetically engineered animals to feed into factory farms, we must develop sustainable and ecological animal agriculture systems that support animal welfare, preserve and restore biodiversity, and protect public health.
Okay, so next is technology used for these issues. They use gene editing. So gene editing is a set of new genetic engineering techniques for altering the genetic materials of plant and animals. Gene editing has only recently become commercially feasible, with the most talked about technique, clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats, developed around 2012. Then all gene editing use a synthetic molecular guide with the goal of changing DNA while it is present in the organism. Okay, so next is for the positive impact for these issues. The first one is slow. For edited animals, the FDA has recently launched its new Plant and Animal Biotechnology Innovation Action Plan. This new plan aims to avoid unnecessary barriers to future innovation in plant and animal biotechnology. It plans in 2019 to clarify the FDA's regulatory approach to the regulation of essential genomic alteration in animals, including through genome editing. And next is for the individuals. Although the US Food and Drug Administration has concluded that products from cloned animals are safe to eat, for societal concerns such as animal welfare suggest that many people are likely to have even more concerns about genetically engineered animals than for genetically engineered crops, and are likely to reject genetically engineered animals on ethical and welfare grounds, regardless of their trust in the regulatory system to address food safety and environmental concern. And next for the countries, some countries such as China developing gene-edited animals. For example, the gene-edited sheep and goats with increased wool and hair length were developed by Chinese scientists supported by grant from the Chinese Agriculture Ministry in the case of sheep. And next is the negative impact. So for this issue, the negative impact of individual, industrial animal farming also contributes to the growing threat of antibiotic resistance in humans. Resistance to antibiotic kills at least 23,000 Americans each year, according to the Center for Disease Control and Prevention. For the society, the intensive animal farming model has had negative consequences for animal, human, and environmental health. Alongside incurring additional costs for farmers, dehorning is painful for the animals and raises animal welfare concerns. It is questionable whether the practice of dehorning is necessary, as it is associated with the close packing of cattle. And the last one is for countries. Approximately 335 million tons of animal waste per year containing compounds such as ammonia, nitrogen, and phosphorus, as well as pathogens and other odorous compounds, has contributed to air, water, and land pollution. Animal agriculture is also a leading cause of climate change, accounting for 16.5% of global greenhouse gas emissions.
Hi, I'm Priyangka Manimaran. Okay, let's see the strategies of how to tackle the negative impact. First of all, law. Production of GM animals lead to the new law, which is Food and Drug Administration (FDA). Individual. The technique that used to produce new varieties is chemical or radiation induced mutation. This technique is now to consider a GMO, and the resultant food can be sold as conventional or organic food. Using this technique, you have no idea what mutation you have induced or what allergen or toxin might be produced without extensive testing. Country. The toxic management of pesticides is a plan to treat weeds and pests with non-chemical based formula, and the correct usage and dosage of commercial pesticides, different types of pests, temperature, humidity, and other factors to maximum efficiency and minimize usage. The fertilizer excess and nutrition excess should undergo an industrial process to monitor fertilizer and cattle waste by creating designed structure to store and let waste and fertilizer as nutrition for farmlands rather than letting the animals roam free spreading waste in the open. At last, society eating less meat and purchasing from only high welfare farm is crucial in shifting away from cruel factory farming. a national-wide reduction in meat consumption has the potential to put end to some of the cruelest practices such as extreme confinement, the overuse of antibiotics, and brutal mutilations. By reducing the overall demand for meat, World Animal Protection expert that family farming and practice that are more sustainable and kinder to animals will replace low welfare practice. In conclusion, there is no doubt that genetic engineering of animals will continue well into the future. Both the United States and the Europe legal system have been slow to respond with legislation specifically regulating biotechnology, and each have permitted their patent law to provide a supportive ground for genetic engineering research and development. One thing is for sure, we must not sit completely by as this technology rapidly changes rapidly changes the fabric of our existence from the inside out. We must not wait and see what the effects are. We must form educated opinions, inspire legislative regulation, and hope that whatever direction that bioengineering takes us is a positive step toward decreased animal suffering, increased environmental sustainability, and overall compassionate regarded for Earth and its precious life. Thank you.